Well, good evening, everyone, and welcome to tonight's SMASH 2015 Boot Camp. My voice is a little hoarse tonight. I apologize for that. I talk a lot in what I do, and I've been going through to a speech therapist now, teaching me how to use my voice properly, and I'm not sure that that's working because now I can't talk. So here we are. Again, we're here tonight helping you make the 2015 of your life the best that has ever been or will be. And tonight I'm here with my amazing co-host, Linda Lehman. How you doing, Linda?
I'm great, Mark. Thank you. It's been an awesome day.
Yeah, I've had an awesome day too. Just before we get into this, I have to tell you this.
Okay.
I've been going to renovate my bathroom upstairs, right? So, looking for somebody to do it and getting some ideas and whatnot. And today my toilet decided to start leaking all over the place. And I'm sitting there going, okay, I knew I manifested that by telling you I was going to renovate you, but come on, I'm not ready yet. So right before the show, I'm sticking towels underneath my toilet. So expect the unexpected.
Absolutely.
and tonight we'll talk about that. Be confident in that.
That's right. Be confident. The unexpected will happen.
It will.
And you can laugh at it like you're doing now.
Yeah, no harm, no foul. Now I get to paint my ceiling. It just all works. So, but tonight we're talking about confidence because here's the reality, the absolute reality, and you may not like to hear it, but if you don't have confidence, you're not going to get the things that you want out of life. And this is one thing, Linda, that, a lot of people do hear this, right? They hear fake it till you make it. And this one thing, you can't fake. You just can't fake it. You're just not going to get anything if you can't be confident about something.
Exactly. And you know what? It doesn't have to be, you don't have to be totally confident in doing something for the very first time. But what you do need to have is confidence in yourself that you can work your way through it.
Exactly. Confidence is the key to everything. And it's, for me, I think, and for most people, it's probably the toughest challenge that they're going to have, and that's why we're tackling it, because you just need steps to get there. Most people try to do things in too big a chunks, and that's why you get discouraged and you feel overwhelmed. Gosh, Linda, how many times in our coaching and our business building workshops do we hear this? I feel so overwhelmed.
Every day.
Every day. So you're in a big crowd, guys. You're in a big crowd. I wasn't always the most confident person. Every time I'm learning something, I'm not the most confident at it, but I don't beat myself up about it. I just learn, because confidence can be learned.
It can be learned. Once you start building that confidence, you're going to open up a whole new world for yourself. You can kind of tell. I love this slide here because if you don't have confidence in yourself, you can pinpoint it very easily by some of the examples that we've given here. And instead of suggesting to go to the movie that you want to go to, you sit there and say, well, I don't care. What one do you want to go to? And they name off something, and you kind of cringe inside because that was the movie that was on the very bottom of your list that you really had no desire whatsoever to go to. But since you didn't step out there and say what you wanted, the other person did. Or how many times have you and your friends or your spouse or your significant other trying to figure out where to go on Friday night to dinner, right? Where do you want to go? Oh, I don't know. Where do you want to go? I don't care. Where do you want to go?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we could sit there for an hour debating back and forth about the fact that we don't care where we go. But realistically, deep down inside, you probably have an idea of where you want to go. So we're telling you it's a great idea to just speak up and go for it.
Yeah, and you know what? Some people will say, and I've come across people like this, where they think that's amiable. You know, that, oh, no, I'm being amiable. I'm allowing you to make decisions. And I turn around and say, no, you're just not confident in the decision you want to make. What do you want to do? And, you know, you're not being, you know, if you're not confident enough to say something. And here's the other thing. Okay, I will say this, though. If you're not confident enough to say where you want to go, don't be pouting about where you went and never complain about it after, because that's just all wrong.
It is. I mean, you gave the reins of control over to somebody else. And you know, if you're afraid that you're going to hurt somebody's feelings, or they're not going to want to know, or they're not going to want to go where you want to go, you know, say where you want to go. And if they have confidence, they'll say, we went there last week. What do you think about this place?
Exactly. Exactly. Whoop. I just screwed up our screens here.
It happens.
Yeah, put me at the control. Okay, so we want to talk about the reality check tonight. Okay, this is important. You can't manage anything if you don't have confidence. Okay, you're not definitely not going to be ready for business if you don't have confidence. Because the thing is, you have to win at life, and that's the absolute truth. You have to win at life. And right now, you may not believe that. You may think, oh, you know, I can get away with not. I can get away with being amiable all of my life. And Linda, what's going to happen if they do that?
You're going to get resentful, and you're going to go through life unsuccessful, and you're not going to know why. In order to win at life, and you know, something just hit me as we were talking about this, you know, having confidence, and even though you're stepping out into an area that maybe you haven't ever done before, it's just like parenting.
Mm.
There's no user's guide to a baby. There's no user's guide to a teenager. We do the best we can with the information that we have. And oh my goodness, you can actually, you can see it. You can watch families and see the people who have confidence and the people who don't. You can see the people who, you know, laugh at and have fun with, oh, ha, wasn't that funny? That one didn't work out very well, or that idea didn't work, or look at us, we made a mess. But then you're laughing about it because you have confidence in yourself. And you know that, okay, we're going to get through this and get over this, and it's all going to be okay. And we've just given our entire family a great memory to look back upon and laugh about in the future.
Mhm. Exactly. So let's talk about some business here tonight a little bit. We're gonna be moving into business because we know a lot of the people that we have here that drop in on this boot camp are talking about wanting to be entrepreneurs. And so that's why we started with confidence and getting the mindset right. You know, we have, and I'm just gonna flip the script just a little bit here, because something I talked about this morning on our morning call was having a fixed mindset and having a growth mindset. A fixed mindset is one that you believe that you were born with what you have, the intelligence and the talent that you have. You're born with that, and that's all that you get. And every time something happens, you simply say, well, you know, what did I expect? A growth mindset is the one where we're trying to push you into right now as hard as we can push you, because that's where the magic is. That's when you believe that all things are possible. Everything for you can happen. But it's a big, bad, scary place out there, and we understand that. Most people don't want to go there, and that's why you stay where you stay. That's why we use those excuses. Well, I was born that way, or it's in my DNA. Nothing is. You know, nothing is. And I always say this, after the age of 18, you don't get a pass on that anymore. You know, and giving you 18, that's pretty good. But after 18 years of age, you're an adult. And after that time, you need to start making your own choices in life. And you can't say, well, that's the way I was brought up, or, you know, if you're not satisfied in that. I mean, if you're fine, you know, if you could say, wow, that's the way I was brought up, I'm loving my life, well, that's one thing. But to not have what you want in your life and use that, well, that's the way I was brought up, you know, I was told never to, you know, do this or be assertive or all of those things, you can't say that anymore. So we're going to, that right now, I just cut that out. I'm sure I can't make very good sound effects. I'm not good at this. But,
I loved it.
well, you can't become a person of influence if you don't have the confidence. And see, that's what's going to drive your business too. Because people are attracted to people who are confident and happy. You are, right? Linda, you are. People on here, you're attracted to those people. I mean, that's why a lot of people are attracted to us, because we're just positive people. We love our lives. But we work our tail feathers off, my friends, to get here. It just doesn't. We don't get up in the morning and everything's perfect.
No, exactly. And, you know, I'm sitting here thinking about, and I'm jumping ahead a little bit, but, you know, people that I admire, the question is, do you think that somebody like Richard Branson knew how to build an airplane or even how to fly an airplane when he came up with the idea to do it?
No, and most people would not hazard to guess this, that Richard Branson is a very, very shy person.
Mm-hmm. But he has confidence.
Oh, yeah. He has boatloads of confidence. And that's why he'll risk. See, confidence, risk. Mm-hmm. You're not afraid to take some risks. And they're measured risks, okay? Because anyone who, this is not being foolhardy, my friends, run right out there naked. No. It's understanding what's in front of you, analyzing it, and doing all the things we're going to tell you to do tonight. Yeah, we always do this. We're jumping all over the place.
Okay.
Here we go. Let's get back to taking you on the straight and narrow here. Okay, so let's talk about how do you become more confident, okay, because I just almost stepped into that. So rather than jump into the big ocean, you're just going to step in with your little toe in the water. Again, we're going to talk about this in pieces that you can handle. Okay, if you're someone who wants to do something, and I don't care what it is, you're going to have to get the mechanics of it before you can do anything.
Exactly, Mark. And you know what? The mechanics includes the mindset. You know, you were about to talk about calculated risk a little bit ago, and I kind of wanted to expand on that. I was thinking back, and this is wonderful to think about the mechanics too. You know, there's stupid risks some people take without even thinking about the consequences. They go out there, they risk everything, and a lot of times because they haven't thought it through a little bit, they don't do very well. But I can remember way back, just as an example, of risk, but it was measured or calculated risk. Many, many years ago, I was a Girl Scout. We had a fun troop where we went out and we did a lot of things like camping and cave exploring and things like that. But one of the things that we wanted to do, we wanted to learn how to rappel, which for people who don't know what rappel is, it's go down the side of a mountain or the side of a cliff on a rope. We decided that would be a really cool thing to do. Now, a stupid risk would have been to just go to the hardware store, buy some rope, tie it to a tree, and go. We probably would have had a lot of major injuries if we had done it that way. But we made the decision that this is what we wanted to do, and so we found an expert in rappelling. We had them come teach us how to do it the proper way. We learned about the tools necessary to be safe about it. We took some baby rappels, even jumping out of a tree, with all of the safety measures, because there's lots of things they call carabiners, and the way you hold the rope, and then another person at the bottom to help keep you safe, so that even if your hand slips, you're not just going to immediately fall. So, was it risky? Yeah, it was risky. But at that point in time, because we had taken the steps necessary to gain the right tools and learn the right skills, this was a calculated risk, and it was successful. So, yeah, we stuck our toe in the water, and then once we gained confidence in our skills, then we, pun intended, we took the big jump.
I can actually remember doing that in Mexico, and it was kind of I was looking down at the small little Mexicans at the bottom, going, hope they can catch me.
See, that was a good way for you to get over your fear of heights.
Yeah, well, no, rappelling's not a big deal because I don't have to look down. You see, I can do that. I can mountain climb. The thing is, and I can rappel, not a problem. It's if I'm looking down, I don't want to go down.
Yeah.
Wild and wacky me. But here's another thing, you guys. Light up your journal. Light it up right now. Start thinking in bigger things, like all the amazing things that you want to do, and how you're gonna make that happen by one little stick your toe in the water, splash it around a little bit, and start redirecting your internal energy flow to bring you from that scary place that you're sitting in, the place that you're not achieving what you want to achieve. And we're not saying that everybody that's here tonight has a sad sack life, right? We're not saying that at all. But we all, every single one of us, miss chances in life because we're scared of them. Because we may not see, right, Linda? We may not see what's on the other side, so we're afraid to look.
Right.
That's kind of like my fear.
Yeah. When you're driving a car at night, you can only see as far as the headlight allows you. And
that's why some people don't drive at night. Exactly that reason.
Yeah, maybe I shouldn't. No, but really, redirecting your energy, it takes some practice. But if you redirect it in the direction that you want it to go, it'll go there. There's this wonderful experiment, and I've done this experiment, and it's just too cool. And now I use it when I'm in front of groups, and they're always just amazed. But it's really easy to do. You get two clothes hangers, and you kind of straighten them out, and then you bend one end, and then you put you cut a straw in half, and you put that straw on that end, and then kind of crimp up the end so that it doesn't fall off. Well, that end is kind of like a dividing rod. That's the end for you to hold on to, so that you're not clamping down on the hanger so it can't move. And so you can actually see how whatever you focus your attention on, you're directing your energy. And so with this experiment, you can hold these two clothes hangers out in front of you, and you can think of something really sad or disappointing or something that makes you angry. And what's going to happen is, as you're focusing on this negative feeling, those hangers are going to come and cross each other and kind of close in on you. Because that's what negative energy does. It just closes in on you. But then you can kind of shake that off, and then you can reline up those clothes hangers, and you can think of something that makes you really happy, something positive, something that always brings a smile to your face. And those hangers are going to open up because you're opening and you're freeing this wonderful positive energy. Then the other thing that I do is, I tell them, okay, now I'm going to think about that plant over there and on the left-hand side of this room. And so all of a sudden, as I'm thinking about this plant without even looking at it, the hangers move to the left and point toward the plant. Is that not awesome?
Mhm. Yep.
That's just evidence. of
It is.
how you can direct your energy. So, my recommendation is, choose thoughts that make you feel really good, because your energy is going to go that direction.
It certainly is, and that's something y'all can try at home.
Absolutely.
You can try that tonight, and just try it for yourself.
Yeah, when I first did this experiment, I was so impressed. Of course, the first time I did it when I was by myself. And then it was so cool, I said, "Hey, Randy, look at this." And so I showed him, and he thought that was really cool. And then he tried it because he thought I was just moving the hangers around.
Like a Ouija board.
Oh yeah. And so then one time my daughters were over, and I said, "Girls, you got to look at this." So everybody that came over to my house, they were seeing this experiment. It was just too cool. You got to do it, guys. It's fun.
It is fun. And Linda, if we think back in our careers and things that we do, I don't think that at one point I was sitting there thinking that I could break an arrow with my throat or bend rebar with my throat. I would not even considered even doing that. And I've got a pretty high confidence level. But to do something like that will take you to a whole different place. And as we go through this, we are going to be having some live sessions that we're going to be doing a lot of these things. And you're going to be amazed at yourself. But even rubbing your hands and feeling energy, like there's so much, like the whole other session for this stuff, for sure.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. When we walked across those hot coals, Mark, it's just one of those wonderful things. You get to the other side. And anytime I start feeling my confidence dip, I think back and I go, "Linda, you walked across hot coals. This is nothing." And I'm right back up there at my confidence level.
Mhm. Yep, for sure. So let's talk a little bit about your journal. And how you're going to start here, because I hope that we got you a little bit of excited there. But here's what we want to do. We talked about admiring things and things that you might, at this point, you might covet things. But I want you to change that from coveting something to just simply admiring qualities of someone else. Not, "I wish I had that." Okay? Take that out of the equation. I just want you to write down 5 people that you admire. And I want you to look at that, and I want you to take the time to evaluate why. What are all the things? And it can be anything. I like the way their hair is. I like the way their eyes sparkle. I like, their finger. It doesn't matter what it is about that person. Just write it down. Write down all of those qualities, characteristics of that person. And then we're going to take you on a little bit of a journey. The journey inside you of discovering what's inside you. So, Linda, we told them before when we started this to take a look in the mirror, and take a good look at that person, and then what do they see? But now we want to take it one step farther, right?
Exactly. This time we want to take those qualities that you've written down that you really admire about all of these people. And as Mark said, it could be anything. It could be the hair, the nails. It could be the fact that they seem to be happy all the time, or that they in your definition of confidence exude confidence, or they just seem to always know the right things to say. Take those qualities and look deep into the eyes of that person staring at you from the mirror and say, "Yeah, I have that." And even if you feel just this little inkling or little flicker of excitement, that's great. Roll with it, celebrate that. And you can look at something else, another quality. "Yeah, I'm that. I'm all that." Or if it's something that you feel like it's a great quality, but this is maybe something that you've beaten yourself up about before, you can look at that quality and say, "You know what? I can grow that. Yes, I can." But the whole time, do this mirror work. Look at that person in the mirror and talk to them about that. "Yeah, I can do that. I have that. I am that." Start building up that positive energy within yourself. And as Mark says here, just say yes.
Yeah. You're not there to compare yourself. Remember that. You're not comparing yourself with anybody or anything. That's when things go really wonky with everybody. So just notice those attributes, right? See what's inside you. And because they're hiding. And you've got all that monkey chatter that's going on, like I said, when I started this with, that's in my DNA, that's how I always am. All of that stuff's going to come up. And that's what's going to happen with you. When you start doing this, you're going to say, my nails, they always break off. I love their nails, and mine are crappy nails. Well, there's a solution to that, right? There's a solution to that. You can go to a manicurist or, and you can say, these are the nails, what's wrong with them? Interestingly enough, I will tell you a little bit of a story. That's how I found out I had a thyroid problem, because I used to have really nice nails, and they started breaking all the time and getting weird ridges in them. And so I wanted a solution to the problem. And again, went to my manicurist, said, look, my nails are breaking off, they're weak. What's going on? Do I have some kind of deficiency? And she was the one that said, you should maybe see your doctor. So went to the doctor, did some tests, found out, hey, your thyroid just went wonkadoodle on you. So, some things can lead to other things. But I didn't say I don't have nails like, Maleficent anymore. I just have crappy nails. Something happened, right? And you have to remember that. You are all that in the bag of chips, by the way. You just don't know it all yet.
Exactly. So, Mark, what do we do? What is somebody who maybe is lacking in confidence? What do they do?
Start visualizing.
I love visualization.
Yeah, using your imagination. Walt Disney has made billions with the imagination, that anything is possible, and created a world of fantasy that people around the world love to go because they walk into the fantasy. And what they don't realize is that destination, it's inside you.
It is. Imagination is there for all of us. It's one of the what I call your success muscles, and I know that people who've been following us and watching our programs understand that I talk about imagination a lot. But here's what Wayne Dyer has to say about your imagination. He says that the greatest gift you were ever given was the gift of your imagination. Within your magical inner realm is the capacity to have all of your wishes fulfilled. Here in your imagination lies the greatest power you will ever know. It is your domain for creating the life that you desire. And the best part of it is that you are the monarch with all of the inherent powers to rule your world as you desire. Mark, how powerful is that?
It is. But I can just almost hear the vibrations coming through our session tonight of people going, yeah, right.
Even
works for everybody but me. It works for everybody but me, Linda.
Yeah, that's the confidence again, isn't it, Mark?
Mm-hmm.
Because if you believe, if you will just use your imagination, most people use their imagination against themselves. They use their imagination to start building this picture on the screen of their mind about everything that could possibly go wrong.
Mm-hmm. Tumbling down to the bottom floor again.
The bottom floor. And once you start one thought, thoughts are like trains. They attach to each other. So you think one thought, then a similar one's going to come along, and a similar and similar. So the more things that you think about that can go wrong, the more you're going to think about, and they're going to start coming fast and furious. You're going to spiral down to that bottom floor, lower than low, even below the basement. Same energy, same train. You can use your imagination and start building the picture on the screen of your mind about everything that can go right. how this is going to work and what it's going to look like and feel like. And then all of a sudden, the train is moving, but it's moving up instead of spiraling down.
Mhm. It's the monkey chatter.
The monkey chatter. Huge difference, same energy.
Mhm. Exactly. That's the thing to understand. Huge difference, same energy. It takes just as much energy to tear your life apart as it does to build a beautiful life. So why would you use the energy to keep beating yourself up, thinking you're never going to be better than whatever, whoever that you're thinking about or want to be, or that you can never do that? You're never going to be a successful entrepreneur. That's always for someone else. Someone else always makes money and I never do. For me, I always run into a scam. You know, you're just asking for it, okay? Number one, we talked about that in our past session. Whatever you think about will be your reality, okay? It's really simple. And if you start, correcting yourself as you go along, whenever you're thinking something like that, and you just grab the lock, throw the monkey, cage him up there, and stop. But you have to be, that's what we're talking about, consciousness. And listening to what you're thinking about and understanding the impact that that's having on your life. I mean, Linda, this is probably the most important session I think we would ever do.
I think so too, Mark. And as you were talking, I was thinking about, we have so many thoughts running through our mind in any given day. What is that? I read somewhere in the neighborhood of 60,000 or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But paying attention, being aware of what we're thinking, that's what we're talking about, because we can take control of that, and we can direct it where we want it to go. Just today, this brings up a good example. I was feeling kind of in a funk. And let me tell you, if you don't know what you're thinking, your feelings, your emotions are screaming at you what you're thinking, if it's negative or positive, because you're either feeling good or great, or you're kind of in a funk, or you're mad, or you're feeling horrible. Either way, your emotions are telling you what you're thinking. And so because I was aware, I started asking questions. Wow, I feel like I'm in a funk. Why? What am I thinking about? And I was able to pinpoint some of those random thoughts that I had running through my head, and it was this untrue story that I was playing in my mind about some circumstance or some instance, and all of a sudden I was getting this bad feeling. And it's because I was having negative thoughts. My thoughts were not going in the direction of where I wanted them to go. They were spiraling down to the basement. So I was able to say, okay, what thought, because I didn't want to zoom up lightning speed all the way up to the top floor in one step. It's easier to take step by step by step to get where you want to go. So I thought, well, what could I think about this situation that would make me feel a little bit better? And so I started trying on different scenarios or different comments I could make about that. Found one. Oh, yeah, that makes me feel better. Well, I wonder what next thought I could think to make me feel a little bit better than this. And so I gradually worked myself back out of that funk and back into the high positive energy level that I like to work in. So, the point is awareness is another big key. Your confidence is key. Being aware of what you're thinking and feeling is also huge. And we may have to do another boot camp, and we'll include that in it. But it's so important to be aware of what you're thinking and what you're feeling, because then you can actually begin to take control and start moving it, like those hangers, moving it into the direction that you really intend to go.
Yep. And behind all of that, you're going to give it a big push.
Yes.
You know, you got to have emotion and passion behind that. So when you're writing this week, and we're only doing this, you know, it's 1 week, okay, 7 days, right? 7 days. 6 days if you take off this day because it's the night. Okay, you got 6 days. So it's not hard. Anybody can do anything for 6 days. So what if you decide tonight that from this moment forward, I'm going to have a positive experience every single day. And you start writing about that. You write with passion and you write with emotion. This is the best day ever. I can't believe how amazing this week is. You would be surprised just by doing things like that, even getting up in the morning, like instead of, oh, God, another day, to, wow, I wonder what's going to happen today. I can't wait to challenge it. I can't wait to get out there. I want to start mixing it up. You know, it just, you know, the energy level. You can tell the energy level is different.
It is
so
different.
Yeah, even if you got up and you felt like, switch that off, right? Switch it off. Get your journal and start writing. Well, what do I want this day to be? Visualizing just the day. Or if you're really stuck on that, the next 15 minutes. Doesn't matter. There's no prize for getting to the end on this, you guys. Well,
no.
The prize is a great life, but I mean,
yeah.
We're not asking you to be superhuman tomorrow.
No, and we're not asking you to be perfect and high energy and joyful 100% of the time. Because if you were, you wouldn't know that you were there because there's no contrast to show you anything different. But Mark, remember last week we were talking about how incredibly powerful your subconscious mind is.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I think I said that this is your power center. Well, emotion is how you turn your desires or your visions over to this powerful subconscious mind for it to work on for you and start bringing you different people and circumstances and situations to match what you're handing over to it, what you're telling it that you want. So when you emotionalize your desires, as you're writing down in your journal, again, even if it's, man, I want something exciting to happen today, how are you going to feel when that happens? Put your emotions into it. Feel how you're going to feel, because that is exactly how you're planting that seed and you're telling your subconscious, powerful mind, this is what I want.
Mm-hmm. But you have to want it.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said in here, every fiber of your being, you have to believe it with every ounce of energy that you have. You have to make it real. If you feel a little bit of doubt coming in, trying to slide in there and push you away from that, you have to be conscious about stomping on it. I mean, this is really the important setup. You can't go beyond this if you can't get these steps. It's just, that's the way it is.
Exactly. And when we're talking about feeling it with all of your being, it's very, very important for you to realize that desperation is a negative feeling.
Mm-hmm.
Because what you're doing is you're focusing on the fact that you don't have it. So it has to be the feeling of joy and accomplishment and confidence as if you already had what it is that you want, or you already are the person that you want to be. You have to come from that place instead of desperation because you don't have it yet.
Yep. So let's give them some tools. Okay, first one was your journal, right?
Right.
You know, getting it down, writing it down. I just saw another documentary just the other day, this past weekend, about putting pen to paper and how, you know, it was, I can't remember the author, but just she writes romance novels anyways, and someone had asked her, you know, oh, your life must be amazing. And she said, not actually, but my imagination is.
I love it.
Yeah, because she's, you know, like, oh, you know, the way you write, you must have known great love in your life. And she goes, unfortunately, I haven't found that yet. However, my imagination has. And so even though, you know, she putting pen to paper makes her feel great about it, because even as she was saying those words, the twinkle in her eye, like she had that hope and that knowledge that it will come to me. I'm open for it, right? And that's what we have to be. So, you know, start start doing stuff, creating a vision board. And I know a lot of people, my girlfriend did this with Barbie dolls, the little dolls that you get, the paper dolls, and you can put clothes on them, when she wanted to lose weight. But she kind of made her own, and she kind of made a, a bigger one, and then it was just like one of those graphs where you see the monkey growing into the person. Well, hers was from this larger person down to this person she wanted to be. And every day, honest to Pete, what she did was she started shaving off a little bit off of this one person until it fit into the next person. And lo and behold, now truth on the Bible here, my friends, every time she was cutting, she was losing half a pound, just by watching. Every day, her conscious act was, I'm losing this little bit here. I'm shaving a little bit off my hips today. And then she would fit into the next one, and she would start on that one. And she lost over 100 pounds. And she will, to this day, does some speaking with some of the things that I do. To this day will say, oh, I didn't diet, I didn't change anything.
She changed her mindset, and she changed the seeds that she was handing over to her subconscious mind to work on.
Exactly. But to her, she wasn't doing anything but cutting out these dogs and putting them on the fridge. I mean, everyone else knew, hey, you're only eating half portions and stuff like that. But to her, she was happy. She wasn't on a diet. She was just shaving a little off her hips today. So get that vision of your new life. Start cutting out the visions of your new life. The magazines, take pictures. If you go down to, if you want that Maserati, will go down and take a picture of the Maserati that you want. I mean, physically go down and touch it. Right?
Test drive it.
Smell it. Yeah. Test drive it. Whatever it is. It could be a Grand Cherokee in my way, or a Hummer. Yeah. I don't care, right?
Right, exactly.
But make it yours. And then start making your vision board and focusing on that. And I know every single one of you out there is sitting there going, yeah, I tried that before. It didn't work. It's because you weren't focused on it, and that was in your head. I'm going to do this, but I know it's not going to work. And now I'm going to tell you something. In May 15th of the year 2007, I wrote on a check my name and $500,000. Okay, and the date was May 15th of 2008. And I had close to $800,000 by that date. I had a plan.
Yep. It's the same thing that Jim Carrey did, too. I don't know if anyone's have followed that story either, but before he was discovered, he wrote himself a check for $10 million, and he put a date on there. It was right before Thanksgiving of I don't know whatever year it was, and right before Thanksgiving of that year, he landed the contract with the movie Dumb and Dumber, and they paid him $10 million.
Like so. It's a belief in that. And you can't be sitting there going, yeah, that's you and that's Jim Carrey. Jim Carrey's a person. I'm a person, right? We all were born. We all had stuff. I come from a divorced family. My life wasn't great. I made it great because every single day I got up with the intent to make it great. I wasn't going to live on the wrong side of the tracks. I was going to move to the other side. I wasn't going to take the flack from having divorced parents when divorce wasn't cool. I was just going to be smarter and brighter and dive in and enjoy my life. And I didn't care what anybody else said. I just make my own way to my own happiness. My happiness isn't Linda's happiness, right?
No.
Linda's isn't yours. We're not saying live our lives. And I know. Lots of people, when I'm speaking on stage, they would say that, oh, what a great life. And I'm going, no. Do you all know what flying on planes nowadays is like? It was at one time, it was amazing. And then it got to be not so much. So what did I do? I shifted and started doing something else because it was losing its luster. Right? I didn't like it anymore. my vision of what I got to where I wanted to be. Now I wanted to be somewhere else. So
you set new goals. You reached those goals. Mm-hmm. Now you set new ones.
Yeah. So start creating your new life. Yeah, but what does it look like? What do you see? How does it feel? Do you even know? That's why that journal is going to be like your best friend.
Exactly. Now, along with journaling and building your vision board, and it's important. You if you can't find a magazine with the picture in it that you want, or you can't seem to find just, for instance, a perfect house that you want to take a picture of it, make Google your best friend, and you can actually print pictures off of the internet and put those on your vision board. It doesn't matter. But another very strong thing that you can do is affirmations. Write affirmations. Create this world by using affirmations that are positive and are aligned with what it is that you want to achieve. We told you again last week. We were talking about the subconscious mind, and we've done a little bit of it today. Your subconscious mind takes everything that you say as fact. I think we've talked about that before as well. It'll take everything and say, "Oh, Linda wants more of this. I will work on this for her." Whether it's good for you or bad for you, because you thought about it and you emotionalized it, it went there. So this is why affirmations can be so strong and so helpful for you, is because you can make deliberate comments and you can emotionalize those comments. So make certain that when you're doing affirmations that it's only positive. It's only something that is good for you and that will work for you. Because as I said, your subconscious mind is going to take it and it's going to run with it. So I like what Mark says here, point 3, remember, never forget that. Your subconscious mind will take it as fact. So let's go back. You can spend your energy looking around you at your circumstances, feeling sorry for yourself because there's no money at the bank account, your mortgage is due, you just lost your job, yada, 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 so you've just spiraled down to the basement, and you've handed that to your subconscious mind, or you can exercise that wonderful imagination and focus on how you want your life to be or how you want your business to be. Put that positive energy in there. Tack on some affirmations. And again, what does your subconscious mind do? It says, oh, well, she's enjoying this. Let's give her more of that. Because it takes it as fact.
Yeah, but let's be real clear on that, Linda. Let's talk about facts. Because this is where people trip up more often than not. Okay, so you can't put a positive and negative together.
Right.
Okay, you can't say, I want to be skinny, but I'm fat. Okay, because what your mind just heard is I'm fat. Okay, because it took the fact, I want, the wish, the want, the wish, it's nothing. It's the facts that it will understand. So you have to be very clear on some of these things. And you know what, Linda, I'm thinking this could be the simple little tweak that people have missed out on that could change everything for them.
I think you're right. It's almost like the secret behind the secret that everybody talks about.
Yeah. Again, it's true. And that's like, you can't get up in the morning and say, oh, I feel like crap. Boy, am I going to have a good day. It's just not going to happen.
I don't know, if you make yourself laugh, then you can. But,
well, but not if you're in the headspace, right? We would do that. Like, well, you're just being ridiculous. But the thing is, people do this all the time. And that's where they screw up with this. So you can change it, too.
You can.
Okay, so what are the rules? Let's do some affirmation rules here.
Okay, well, again, your confidence is like another one of those mental muscles. The more you use it, the stronger it gets. So, your rules for affirmations, again, make them positive. Make it about what you want. I mean, I could sit here and just say positive things, but if I'm not feeling it, I'm not emotionalizing it, I'm just saying words. So make those affirmations positive and get emotionally involved with it. Like in the previous slide, Mark, instead of saying, I want to be skinny but I'm fat, I am skinny, or I am giving my body nutritious foods, and I'm well on my way to being skinny.
Mm-hmm. I have a trainer, and that's the other thing. You know, I'm the worst at going to work out. I hate it. I love my yoga. I don't feel that that's working out. But as you get older, as I am, it takes a little more effort than what I've been putting in. So, I mean, I know me. I know that if I don't get somebody that's going to, you know, rattle my bell, if I don't go do something, then I'm going to find some excuses to do it. So, see, yeah, I'm human too. So, but I know that, so I get somebody, and I get a tough trainer that if I don't show up when I'm supposed to show up and I don't do what I'm supposed to do in between the time that they train me, I know I'm going to get killed, and I don't want to get killed. And so, but that's what she does, you know, like even if I'm working out, she'll know, like, do it with passion, put some emotion in there, you know, get mad at the weight, like do something. And do you ever notice that? When you have a coach, Linda and I see this all the time, and I'm hoping that you're being able to see this too, that you can go one step further when you have a coach because they're going to push you one step further. And see, we can't pick you up by the scruffs of your necks and make you do anything because, you know, Linda's in Florida, I'm up here in Canada. We can't do that. But we sure hope that you have enough self-respect for yourself that you're going to follow this plan. Because we're promising you that if you do this, your life is going to be bloody amazing. Mm-hmm. You know, welcome. Welcome to that new, powerful you.
So what happens when we start doing these affirmations, Mark? We write them down and we say them out loud every single day. What's the first thing that's going to happen?
Crash. Boom. Bang. Oh, yeah, the monkey pounding on the closet door. He's ripped off his gag. He's screaming, listen to me, listen to me. Wasn't it a better life back then? This is too hard.
Oh, it's so hard.
You should eat the cake. Doesn't it look good?
I've said affirmations for 2 days, and it's not working.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's going to happen, remember? Name it. This monkey is named George or whatever. Send him back to his cage. Say, I'm not listening to you, George. You can go back to your cave. But if you want to supercharge your efforts here and be even more confident than you believe, then let's go ahead and let's just go back. Remember, in the very first session, we talked about writing down 5 things that you're grateful for every morning. First thing when you get up, 5 things I'm grateful for. Well, you can supercharge your affirmations with gratitude. Because gratitude is one of the highest positive vibrations that you can put yourself into. So for this extra boost of power, let's tie that gratitude into your affirmations. And you can start it off, I am so happy and grateful now that I'm skinny. Or now that I'm attracting 5 new customers every day into my business. Or now that I now have a plan for my life and I know where I want to go. Now, you have to feel it. We've talked about this a lot tonight. You have to feel it. You have to believe it. You have to see it. You have to know, and know that you know that it's true. You know, people say all the time, seeing is believing. No. Seeing is not believing. You have been lied to. You have been misled this whole time. Believing is seeing. You must first believe it before you can actually see it. So there's no backsliding.
Believe it to be true.
Yep.
I am amazing. And you know what? Say it every day. You know, because you are.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm amazing. I'm a beautiful person. I'm a charitable person. I love life. Life loves me back. You know, you can't help but have a better life when you just feel that way. Put yourself in front of it. And that's what exactly. Seeing is not believing. Believing is knowing and seeing the possibility, the endless possibilities. So, okay, you guys, we're just about at the top of the hour here. And I'm hoping that by now you feel like maybe you're starting to see the direction you should be going into. But remember, this is a boot camp, and you're going to have some homework here, my friends.
Exactly. Yeah. Light up your journal. We've talked a lot about your journal tonight. It is one of the most important pieces that you're going to be carrying around with you. You know, get your journal out. Start with your gratitude. Go back. Think about those people that you admire. Write it in your journal and write down all of those qualities that you admire about them. Can make some positive statements about everything that you encounter for this entire week.
Mm-hmm. You know, and you're going to find, I do this all the time. Here, I'm going to say something, and I'm flipping the script a little bit here. You know, when you find yourself in a long line, I always say this. How many times have you said this? I always, no matter what line I pick at the grocery store, it's always the longest line, and it always is, because you picked it.
You're magic.
Yeah. My girlfriend, every time we go to the mall or anywhere where there's no parking spaces, she goes, I'll find one right in front. She always does.
Mm-hmm. Same energy.
Same energy, same force. Okay? So notice that. So next time you're in that lineup, I mean, think of it as a positive aspect that you got 15 minutes to yourself, pull out your little pocket journal and start writing some cool things. But instead of getting into that long line, all the while you're going up and down and putting stuff in your grocery cart and doing whatever, think, you know what? I'm going to be in the shortest line. I'm going to be out of here in 5 minutes. And lo and behold, when you walk up there, 3 new checkouts open up and you just walk right in and you walk right out. See if that happens. You know, notice it. Don't think I was lucky. Think I made that happen. Because when you think you can make it happen, it will happen.
Exactly.
And I'm not doing the hokey pokey over here either.
No, it works. It really works. It's amazing. I love it. You know, and that's kind of a fun game to play, too.
It is. So have a day of being positive. That's our next part of this. Just one day. Okay, that's all we're going to make you do is one day, but you're going to like it so much, you're going to do it every day of this week. But just take a particular day and decide to make absolutely no negative statements, no suggestions to yourself or anybody else. Right? As soon as you feel that you're going to make a negative anything, like if you're going to tell the kids you never listen to me, you know, instead say, thank you for always listening to me. I appreciate that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's going to tune them up, number one, because they're going to think you just lost your mind. And you say it in a loving way. They're just going to calm down. Right? You can manifest things. You can use a little NLP on people just by doing stuff like that. Just by asking somebody, why do you feel that way? You know, you can have all of this. This is yours to be had. Okay, so this next slide that I have is really small writing on this. But it's all of the things we said tonight. and we want you to take it to heart. So get out your notepads. We've recorded this. I'm going to send it out to you, but I want you to start on this as early as tomorrow, and I may not get the recording up tomorrow morning. So phrased in a way that's going to empower you. Phrase everything that you do. I am the greatest. Muhammad Ali, we always heard that, right?
Mm-hmm.
He got beat up a couple of times. He didn't win every fight, did he? But he's
No,
still
he
known as today the greatest fighter of all.
Exactly.
He believed it. Right? And I know that I can't remember his name right now. He's a little Irish guy. And same thing. He's small. Nobody thought that he would ever become a good prize fighter, lightweight champion of the world, because he believed he could. Right? So do that. Do that. And start thinking that. The negative is, and we're talking just in the skinny frame tonight, but the negative that, well, I will not eat fattening foods. Fattening foods is what your mind heard, okay?
It didn't hear the word not either.
No,
I
and
will
positive but not empowering is I'm going to diet because you don't like it, right? Nobody likes dieting. It's positive aspect, but it's not going to get you there. But the empowering part of this is exactly what Linda said. I'm going to give my body some nutritious food this week. I'm going to eat the right foods in the right quantity so I can become all that I wish and want to become. Positive, empowering. That's what we're asking you to do. So you're really going to have to think. You're really going to have to be on your toes this week. And some of you might find this devastatingly hard, but you have the power.
You have the power, and you're growing in your awareness, and with every step of growth in that awareness, you get closer and closer to the life that you truly want to live.
Mhm. And those people that you admire, they've been in our coaching classes. There's lots of things about their life that they're struggling with too. So everybody has their demons. I do, Linda does. She just talked about that and had a little bit of a funk. It's how you get out of that, how you maneuver through it, how you just don't let it get you down and dump you to the bottom floor. Yeah, you might lose a couple of floors, but you're not going to go all the way to the bottom and lay there on your back going, what? It's not even worth it. I can't even do this. Like, never do that to yourself, ever, ever, ever.
Exactly.
So, final thoughts.
We've talked about it too already tonight. About you don't have to go all the way to the top floor with one button. You take it one step at a time, and be patient and be determined. And you're going to be amazed, absolutely amazed, at how empowered you begin to feel. I just want everyone to remind yourself every day about how truly powerful and magnificent you are.
Because you truly, truly are. The only thing is I can believe it and Linda can believe it, but until you honestly and truly, inside and out, believe it, but start with these little things. This is going to be the week that changes your life. If you do it, if you just commit to it, dedicate this week to you and making some positive changes, next week, wow, you're going to blow it off the charts. So, I don't know, for me, Linda, my final thing is I'm rooting for y'all. I'm here, I'm rooting for y'all, I'm on your side. You can do this, so just go out there and slay it. That's for me.
Exactly, yeah. I could just say ditto.
You're not allowed to say ditto.
You guys are worth it. And look at yourself in the mirror, eye to eye, and say exactly that. Point to that person. You are worth it. You are amazing. I love you. And believe it.
So we're going to sign off for tonight. Just remember, we're on your side. You need to be on your side. So for Mark here in Canada, good night, everyone. Have a very empowering evening.
Good night from Linda in Florida.